Greetings everyone, JJ here from SchoolTrade.com, April 7th, 2010. Here's your live trading recap. Hope you guys had a good time in the room this morning. Pretty challenging environment in the room this morning if you guys are with us at 7:45. Before we talk about the trades we took today and some of the stuff we saw in the market this morning, I want to remind you guys about three important links right there. If you're watching this video on anything else besides the YouTube page, just double click on the video. It will take you to the YouTube page, and on the YouTube page in the description you'll see three important links. One is for our 12-month track record, the second is for our 3-week trial, and the third is for our blog. Guys, that blog right now is loaded up with articles and videos, lessons on entries and stops, targets, trade management. Lots of things there, guys, on the blog. Make sure you guys check it out. Let's see here. We took 4 total trades today. Not much happening today, guys. We had a lot of choppy, erratic price action. You can see we took 30 bucks out of the market. We made 3 ticks into the morning here, but that wasn't without some serious effort along the way. As the guys are with us this morning, we saw very choppy back and forth price action. Made it pretty difficult to see any profit today. Obviously, we'll keep moving forward though the rest of the month. We got 1920 in the door here for the month of April, guys. We'll keep you guys posted. We're over 26.5 for the year of 2010, which let you guys know we do the rest of the month. What's the most important thing happened today? Well, I think I finally threw in the towel, and I'm now back on my old computer right now. I upgraded to Windows 7, brand new 8 gigabytes of RAM, quad-core processor. Of course, the big mistake I made though was that 64-bit processor. For some reason, InterTrader right now simply can't work with 64-bit, at least not for me right now. So if you guys are with us this morning in the room, I apologize about the kind of hassle with our charge this morning in the room. It's all behind me now, though. I'm back to my old computer right now, back to Windows XP right now, until I can kind of get this thing figured out with Windows 7. We'll watch the dollar this morning. We noticed this morning on the dollar we were trading at double tops, so we'll take a look at that in a second. And then we also wanted to watch the first couple moves of the day. Okay, so let's take a look at that. How did the dollar end up this morning? Well, here's a snapshot of the dollar for you guys here. And here on the dollar, we have a sideways range, right? See this little sideways range here? And of course, this morning, when we came in this morning, what did we see? We saw testing that high here, and most importantly, we spent a good deal of the morning here right there, right? Good deal of the morning there, right there at that double top area. Now, as you guys know, whenever we trade around double top on the dollar, things are going to get pretty sketchy out there, so we want to make sure we keep an eye on that. Now, once we saw this on the dollar, we knew, of course, what to expect the rest of the day today. We had to wait for the dollar to kind of break out of those highs, or at least back off of those highs a little bit to give us a chance to get some trades taken. Okay, so that's what look at the dollar this morning. Now let's look at what the first couple moves look like here as we started watching the trades today. Now here is an example in the euro. Again, we always watch the first couple moves of the morning just to kind of see how things are working. Okay, we don't need to trade them. We can just watch them if you don't want to trade them. Always a good idea though. The first couple moves, that's going to give us that clue as far as what the market has in store for us today. Now here in the euro, here's a great example in the euro today where we look for the first move of the day on the euro. This was a 2-step pattern. Now in this 2-step pattern, as you can see here, we have the low of day here, right? There's my low of day. We're coming down, of course, testing my low of day at 33.26. So of course, at the low of day, I'm looking for a 2-step pattern long. We mark up our swing high up top here at 33.37, right here at 37, and of course we look for the break above that. Now we didn't take this trade because of a couple things here. The big reason was, if you follow me here to the right, we didn't see any big buyers, right? Only big sellers. Now another reason we didn't take it was, if you follow right below that, you'll see the pace of tape indicator. Pace of tape indicator is decreasing. See that? It's a strong decrease there in the speed of the tape. So with the speed decreasing, that means fewer and fewer people are interested in that price action, and we see big sellers in the tape. Well, obviously, we're not looking too good for a long trade here off those lows. Now, this told a very good story here, and what do we see happen after this? We saw it bounce up and then come crashing right back down. And the reason why it did that was because, again, watching the price action, reading tape, and reading the volume information, we could tell right away the lows were still going to be tested again. With those big sellers instead of big buyers, that means the big money in the market was looking to the short side. We stayed away from this 2-step long, and if you can fast forward here, what happened was it went up a little bit, came right back down, and crashed those lows again. All right, so look at these first couple trades of the day. This will tell you, and this gave us a heads up, we're not looking at a very consistent set of price action, okay? Big sellers, well, we're trying to go long, not going to work out. So we skipped the first trade, but we took notes. Right? We learned from the move. Now the second move here, another potential trade pattern here, this time on crude oil. Second move of the morning here. Again, we're looking at the move here, trying to get a better feel for it. What do we see here? Well, looking for the high of day here, right? Well, this is actually the previous low of day, so it's not exactly going to be an overhead resistance so much, but it's still going to be a pretty choppy area here. Looking for a breaker long. We come up, we mark up our swing high, looking for a break above that swing high for our breaker pattern long. It's a trend continuation pattern. Now, why didn't we take the break here above 86.17? Well, two things. Follow me down. Momentum. Momentum was not confirming. That's the first thing. Second thing, follow me down here, right? Slow, 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 speed of the tape. Look at how much it dropped, right? Pace of the tape was at 200. It dropped down below 100. So when the pace of the tape slows down right before we're trying to take a trade, that's obviously going to be a very, very big red flag. Now, what would this situation tell us? Right? The previous example told us to be careful going long because the shorts were in control. This tells us while we're trying to break above the previous low of day, we're seeing momentum curl and point back over and slow speed. What could that possibly mean? Well, previous low of day, we're trying to break through it. So if we're seeing big sellers, slow speed, momentum pointing down, what is that going to tell us? That tells us we're probably looking to the bearish side of things here today, right? So of course we skipped that breaker pattern long. If you fast forward, would have taken your head off because it went up 2 ticks and then reversed back around against us. So the first two moves of the day, guys, very important. These two first moves really told the story for us. They told us with momentum curling against us, with that slow speed of the tape, what's the consistent pattern here? Lack of decisiveness, right? Indecisiveness. No conviction. Right when that pattern is getting ready to set up, there's nobody there to keep pushing. And that's a sign of low volume. It's a sign of indecision. And this is a sign, combine that with that double top on the dollar, we need to be careful today. Right, guys? The market told us everything before 9 o'clock. We really shouldn't have been too worried about what to expect. This told us the story. Now let's take a look at the first couple trades we took today, and let's see if we did a very good job. Obviously, price action was very difficult today. First trade of the morning here on the gold was at 9 o'clock. Now at this point, we'd already seen those first two trades here. So we already knew things were going to be pretty tight this morning here. Pretty tight trading ranges, sideways choppy, and ultimately lack of conviction to keep those trades moving. High of day overhead, short-term trend is up here on the gold just after 9 o'clock. Now this was a picture-perfect pattern, bouncing off the high, mark up our swing low, make sure you get below that trigger line for the two-step pattern short. Now as you can see here, look at that, right? That trade worked out, didn't it? Nope, it didn't. There's a bar right here, and what happened was right there. There's a bar right there. It bounced up just enough, of course, with some big buyers to kind of spook me out of the market. I got out with a -2. Which cost us 80 bucks here, right? Cost us 8 ticks. But then, of course, it comes tumbling back down. A great example of how nothing had changed from the first two moves of the day into the third move of the day, right? Our first trade, but the third move of the day quickly reminds us we are not out of the woods yet. So we took a small loss on this one, even though the trade actually worked out. We got in a little bit early. And that sporadic price action, that indecisive price action that doesn't really know where it wants to go, kind of bit us right there. Nonetheless, though, right? Losses will happen. It's how we react to those losses. That's what makes us professional traders. Next up here on Crude at 10 o'clock, we made the money right back. All about following those rules and staying focused on your plan of attack. Here at 10 o'clock on Crude, breaker pattern short. Short-term trend is down. We're going to break below this red line here, 86.55. Mark up our swing low, and then break below that swing low. Okay, 86.50 was the final fill there, so we got a little bit of slippage there. We got our +4. Move stop down to entry -1. Got stopped out at our +1, of course, for 10 total ticks or 100 USD. Very, very choppy price action still. And about this time in the morning, we're now well aware, guys, if you don't have to be trading right now, probably not the best day to be trying out any new ideas and forcing trades today. Okay, so by this point, we're really starting to see here, we really had to work for those 10 ticks. Market really didn't make it very easy on us. And then to finish up the morning here, 10-12, we had two more scratch trades. I'll show you guys one of them here on gold at 10-12. Coming up, short-term trend up. Here's my high of day overhead. So of course, what are we looking for? We're looking for a breaker long with green pace of a tape. We actually saw that breaker long. We got long here on green pace of a tape, breaking through that high of day there. 10-12 in the gold, 45.7 was the fill. Now notice, guys, where that price action is right here. You can see right at that entry, very choppy there at the entry. If you follow me down, momentum, of course, quickly curled and pointed back down as well. Follow me down here. Momentum was pointing up, but as you can see, it then quickly pointed back down and headed to the downside. When we saw momentum curl like that, that's a sign to get out of that. Your exit rules always apply. Early exit at your point of entry for a scratch trade for your last trade of the morning here. All right, guys, as you can see, total them all up. Finished the morning with 2 scratch trades. As you guys can see here, really nothing else going on. Very challenging environment. We managed to grab 3 ticks out of it. The key here, though, is we didn't lose any money today. Let's prep for tomorrow. Thursday, April 8th, 2010. We got 8:30 jobless claims. We've got a webinar tomorrow at 11:30. We'll be voting on that, and 10:30 nat gas inventories. And don't forget, guys, we'll be back to see you guys tomorrow, 7:45 a.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you guys come out and join us. We get a webinar tomorrow, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Webinars in the room. If you want more information about our setups, our entry rules, our routine, the indicators we use. It's all in the beginner's course. And at any time you guys want more information about lifetime membership, just drop us an email, sales@schooloftrade.com. My name is Joseph James. Thanks for the time today. We'll see you guys in the room. Bye-bye for now.